Continuăm cu prezentarea partenerului Gold Realco. Prezentarea va fi susținută de domnul Christophe Nilsson-Specialist în curățare enzimatică. Titlul comunicării este Provocarea biofilmului în industria laptelui și a cărnii. Prezentarea va fi făcută în limba engleză, însă sunt sigur că marea majoritate a dumneavoastră va înțelege perfect ceea ce domnul Christophe va comunica. Vă rog.
Bună ziua. Good morning. Sorry, I will do it in English. My Romanian is not so good, so I hope that English will be suitable for everyone. So today I will be speaking about the challenge about biofilm in the dairy and the meat industry. So my name is Christophe Nilsson. I'm working for Realco. We are a Belgian-based company. We exist since 1968, and since 1991 we have been developing ecological bioenzymatic detergents for the food and beverage industry. So we have more than 35 years of experience in daily cleaning in the food and beverage industry. And we've been partnering with Ramfrac, our Romanian partner, for more than 20 years. So to start the presentation, I have a little question for you. So I invite you to take your phone and scan the QR code on the picture here just to answer a small question about what is a biofilm according to you. So just the idea is just to see about your level of knowledge about biofilm and ask you to take your part in it. So just a moment, I will activate the poll. There it is. Perfect. So normally you should be able to see the question and answering it on your phone. So there is nothing to download, it's just scanning and answering directly. And the question is basically, what is a biofilm according to you? And you have 4 different proposals, just to see if everyone has already a knowledge of it or not. I see the first answers coming, quite nice. I leave you another 30 seconds. Perfect. Very good. So basically, I would say more than half of the audience know exactly what a biofilm is. The other part thinks that it might be a biodegradable food film to protect fruit from bacterial contamination. Actually, this is not exactly the biofilm that we'll be talking to. Maybe you know more the symptoms of biofilms than biofilm itself. So symptoms of biofilms are for information like recurrent nonconformity, shelf life reduction. It could also be like productivity impact, unstable microtrends, off flavors, off notes, or organoleptic issues, which was one of the main reasons of notices that one of ANPAC mentions earlier today, positive stress tests, market returns, and complaints. And also metagenetics, if there is like abundant species, that's also a symptom of biofilm. So more than half of the audience knows about biofilm. The other question now is, second question, how often do you run biofilm treatments on a yearly basis? How often do you run biofilm treatments? It's nice to know about it, but how do you deal with it? That's another question. Okay, I see the first answers coming. Okay, I'll stop there. Perfect. So I see that the answers are quite split. Some I'm mentioning like on a quarterly basis. I would say 1/3 of the audience. The other third is mentioning weekly. And the last third is mentioning never. So it's quite nice. I see like 2/3 of the room already run biofilm preventive treatments. Now, let's see exactly what a biofilm treatment is compared to a classical cleaning. So first, let's cover biofilm. What is a biofilm? So a biofilm is a source of constant contamination created by an accumulation of bacteria. We developed a protective matrix made of organic polymers, so DNA, protein, lipids, polysaccharides, and so on. So basically, the best is to look at the growth cycle of biofilm. So how does it work? It all starts with bacteria. So there are bacteria everywhere. These bacteria tend to fix on the surface. At this stage, we are not yet talking about biofilm. And you can easily get rid of it with conventional cleanings or disinfection process. But if you leave them sometimes, these bacteria will develop this protective matrix, and from that moment, you have a biofilm in your facilities. You are not yet aware of it, because it doesn't express itself yet through contamination, but it will resist conventional cleaning and disinfection processes. Then biofilm will start growing. It will also enter in a maturing phase. It's a three-dimensional structure, doesn't really matter, but then it really starts in the spreading phase. That's where biofilm expresses itself through contamination. That's where you see issue in your final products or market complaints. That could be. And when it's spreading, obviously, it's contaminating further down the process and the equipment. And the threat with the biofilm is that it is a constant source of contamination, but with an unpredictable release of bacteria and polymers. Sorry. So what can be found into a biofilm? So obviously, you can find biofilm-forming bacteria. Maybe some names are familiar to you, like in the meat, leuconostoc is quite famous, but you have also like Listeria, Bacillus, Salmonella. All of them are biofilm-forming bacteria. But inside of the biofilm, you can also find other microorganisms that are not biofilm-forming bacteria by nature, but that can penetrate an already existing biofilm and take advantage of it. So they could be like phage, viruses, molds, and yeast. So quite important. There you can see a video about the growth of a biofilm under microscope. This is in a laboratory environment, so this is the ideal environment to grow a biofilm. You cannot see it as fast in an industrial environment, but you can easily understand that it doesn't take years or months to have a biofilm in your facilities. Some about the key facts: more than 90% of the bacteria tend to form biofilms. So biofilm is not something exceptional. It's a common risk. You need to deal and live with it. Microorganisms, once organized into a biofilm, are 10 to 1,000 times more resistant to biocides, and in general, they are highly more resistant to any type of external aggression. It could be like heat aggression, mechanical aggression, or chemical aggression. The presence of biofilm is widely underestimated. One of the two reasons, the first one is the sampling methods. If you understand that bacteria are protected by this protective matrix, even if you would be swiping on top of them, you won't be able to collect them because it's acting like a shield as a castle, so they are really protected. The second BA is a phenomenon called viable but not culturable. Actually, the bacteria inside of the biofilm, they are submitted to stresses. One of them is the limited space that induces a first stress, and the other one is the access to nutrients outside of the biofilm, which is not easy neither, inducing a second stress to bacteria. So these bacteria under stress might enter in a kind of sleeping mode in order to preserve or save the forces. So such as a bear will be sleeping to go through winter, bacteria will be sleeping also to survive later. So would you be really lucky to sample a biofilm release, grow it on a petri dish? You might even not see any growth, no colony, because the bacteria might still be in a sleeping mode. So you might have false negative. 60% of foodborne infections results from microbial transfer from surfaces to final products. So it's really important to keep production surfaces as clean as possible, and so to detect any potential biofilm threats on them. And one of the key elements as well is that enzymes is scientifically proven to be the most efficient solutions to remove biofilm, so the protective matrix of the biofilm, and get rid of the bacteria. So within Realco, we have patented the solutions based on enzymes and developed a full approach ranging from the detections to the preventions and going through the detection and treatments. So basically, we try to answer two questions in the meat and dairy industry. The first one is, was it a biofilm in my installation? Did I get rid of it with the treatment, yes or not? And finally, what was part of that biofilm? Just to help the investigation about the root cause of the contamination. And to do so, we'll be using different analytical methods. One of them is the UV light. The UV light helps us to see organic residues and or potential biofilms. We have that UV light with us on our booth, on booth number 3. So if you want to see how it works, feel free to come. We'll make a demo for you. And also, we have a patented biofilm detection kit. This is a blue dyeing kit that we spray on surfaces to make the distinction between organic residue and then a cleaning issue, or biofilm, and then we have dedicated solutions for it. That's mainly for the open plant cleaning, so like the meat cutting plants. For CIP, more like the liquid process, we have classical methodology with the slime bar test. These are dedicated growing media for biofilm forming bacteria that we can observe over the time to see if there is a high or low or middle level of contamination. And we'll be also using ATP2G, which helps us to measure the level of energy, so the indirectly kind of quantity of bacteria potentially in the systems. And if you want to go the extra step about the characterization, the identification, we are using the metagenetic, which is the only analytical method which doesn't request a growing phase first. So this is really the extensive method to see exactly what's in your system. So how does it work? So basically here you see pictures of the biofilm under a microscope, and on the left that's the schematic representation of the biofilm, where the red dots are the bacteria and the lines of different colors are the substrates of the biofilm, so the polysaccharides, lipids, DNA, and so on. And in fact, when you do chemical actions on the biofilm, you might potentially reduce the size of the biofilm, but you won't get rid of it. The structure of the biofilm is still present, and it can grow over again and contaminate again. So you will have bad hygiene, I would say, step, and non-effective effects. So basically, you only have superficial actions. You can see an onion actually as you can see a biofilm, sorry, as an onion, and if you start burning the onion, the burn will be the chemical products. You will only carbonize the outer layer of the biofilm that might kind of turn black. But if you start peeling the outer layer of the onion, you will see that the onion on the inside is still intact. That's exactly the same process with biofilm when you do chemical actions on it. On the opposite, if you work with enzymes, enzymes will really bind with the substrates, cut it into sub-pieces, and free up the bacteria. So you can directly see on the pictures on the microscope that after an enzymatic phase on a biofilm, bacteria are in a free form. So you can sample them to make sure to see what's inside of it. And also they are fully accessible to the disinfectant. So there you have an optimal hygienic solution for it. So we have a complete range of solutions that can apply for cleaning in place, so CIP process with liquid solutions and non-foaming, obviously. And we have also foaming solutions for open plant cleaning. We have curative treatments and also preventive treatments. And for the plants that might struggle eat the solutions, potentially, we also have like cold solution that works as from 20 degrees Celsius. So you see that enzymes are really key to remove biofilms, but enzymes are also key for daily cleaning. So when it comes to organic and mineral, classical organic and mineral residue, you can deal with them with classical detergents, alkaline and acids. When it comes to sperm-borne organic residue and or sensitive equipments, you already have an added value to work with enzymes. And for biofilm, I just covered the topic already. We have dedicated range of solution, which is biorem. So there are more than 9 advantages to clean with enzymes. The first one is that it's super efficient, so it's highly effective for cleaning. It helps you to save water, because compared to caustic soda-based products, which is really viscous and hard to rinse, our product is really soluble, so it's really easy to rinse. It has a positive impact on wastewater, so if you look at about the green transition, about our future as well, classical detergents usually biodegrade by 60% within 28 days. Our products biodegrade by 95% minimum within 28 days. So it's quite important. So that's the biodegradability I told you about. We work with products that operate close to neutral pH and with low temperatures, so it has no direct impact, no risk for the people, but also for your equipment, quite important. You can save energy because you can work at lower temperatures when cleaning. Because it helps for an in-depth cleaning, you have a better microbiological conformity. And it has also the property to deal with allergen control. So while sometimes you might have to do like two types of cleaning, classical cleaning and an allergen cleaning, you can deal with it. So there we have a complete range of solutions with foaming products, soaking products, and non-foaming, so liquid products. And just to conclude, this is the business case just to show you the advantage of enzymatic cleaning. We work with a company producing fresh hamburgers. And in the past, the shelf life of the hamburgers were 11 days, and they wanted to extend the shelf life to have more possibility to ship them further. They introduced biofilm curative and enzymatic treatments. Just doing this, they extended the shelf life to 19 days, and then they did an extra step, introducing daily cleaning with enzymes, and we reached 23 days. So there are all the advantages, but this can also convert into like extra money because of the extra shelf life that you can win on the products. We are just on booth number 3. We have some enzymatic products for you in goodie bags. So if you want to try the enzyme strength, feel free to collect it. And if you want to have like a free demo about a biofilm detection audit in your plant, just leave us your data and we'll be more than welcome to come and see you in your facility.
Mulțumim domnului Christophe Nilsson. Felicitări și repet și eu invitația domniei sale. Toate informațiile și detaliile le puteți găsi la standul din zona Expo. Mulțumim!
Thank you.